going on, vinyl community? Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a vinyl haul showcasing all of the records that I acquired within the month of March this year in 2020. Before we get into the haul, real quick, I want to touch base with you guys. I hope everyone out there is safe amidst the whole COVID-19 situation that's going on in the world. Whether you're social distancing or self-quarantining, keep on doing what you do. We'll get through this one way or another. For myself, the mall that I work at closed about 2 weeks ago, and I have been home since. And honestly, I am not complaining because for the past 5 years, it has been a nonstop school and work schedule. So it's nice to have a bit of a breather. It's not the most conventional vacations, but I'm not complaining because I've been hanging with my family and my girlfriend, revisiting a lot of albums that I have not listened to for some time, as well as filming lots of content that's going to be coming to this channel within the next couple of months. All kinds of good stuff, and you guys are going to love it. It's just been a really weird year so far, 2020. Neil Peart dies, the Apollo Masters fire, COVID-19, then Record Store Day gets pushed. Crazy times we're living in. But I said this on social media. If you know of any record store that is not able to open their storefronts but are still operating online, try to support them in every way you could because they need all the business they could get. And I just saw an article recently that music sales were at a low point, but yet vinyl sales are still strong. So we are all keeping the flag flying high within the VC. So anyways, this haul has all kinds of cool stuff. We got some legal bootlegs, my first foray into French pop, Third Man Records vaults, and some incredible dollar finds. It's about to get diverse, guys, so without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the latest finds. All right, so we're going to kick this haul off on a rather cool note with some live Doors. This is the Doors in the Coliseum, Seattle broadcast 1970. This is one of those kind of legal bootlegs that are not affiliated by the band, but are put out properly within the confinements of the law. Basically, this show was recorded by Doors road manager Vince Traynor. He would record a lot of shows kind of at the soundboard, and there are quite several of his recordings that were officially released. I believe one of them was the Live in Vancouver live album, and apparently from what I read, he basically let the rights kind of slip for this particular show, and it has not been licensed by the Doors label, Bright Midnight Records and whatnot. So this is one that kind of slipped the crack, and you see a lot of these kind of unofficial releases pop up, but the source itself is absolutely fantastic by all means. You get all of the classic Doors stuff that they were doing live at this point. You have Backdoor Man, Roadhouse Blues, When the Music's Over. You have the Mystery Train kind of medley that they used to do live at this point. What's interesting with this particular show is that they did a song live called Someday Soon, which was released on the Doors box set, which came out back around 1997. And that was a track that, as far as we know, as of filming this, they never recorded in the studio. So we have it here in a live version, which is quite cool. We kind of have some outtakes from the Morrison Hotel photo sessions, kind of making up the artwork. A little brief bit of liner notes there and some credits. This is a 2 LP set. Comes with pretty cool custom labels. It's the same across both LPs, but we have a nice picture label on this side. And the track lists there. So this is a really, really awesome collection, and definitely a cool piece of Doors live vinyl to add to the collection. The Doors in the Coliseum, Seattle broadcast 1970. All right, so if you are a longtime viewer of this channel, you know what bands I like, and you know what my music tastes are. But this next record I'm going to show you guys is something a bit left field and you never would suspect I'd get into. France Gall, Poupée de Cire. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. France Gall was a French pop artist starting back in the 60s. She was part of the whole yay movement that was going on in Europe at the time. And her real first big claim to fame was when she won the Eurovision contest in 1965 with the song Poupée de Cire, Poupée de Son. And Third Man Records reissued 3 of France Gall's albums, which marks the first time that they've been commercially available within the U.S. There's this album, Baby Pop, and 1968. And the reason why I went after this particular one, this is one of her earliest albums, is that it includes the song Laissez tomber les fils, which was the song that was used in the video that Third Man put together to kind of promote these releases. And I really liked it. It's very of the time, very 60s pop sounding, and it honestly sounds really, really good. I quite enjoyed listening to this album. I just don't know any French, so I need to perhaps take some French classes and understand the lyrics. But, you know, it's all great 60s pop stuff. I'll show you guys the label. Comes on standard black vinyl with a kind of basic white label there, which is pretty cool. I had actually, I was bidding on an auction on eBay, which included the 3 France Gall albums that Third Man had put out, but it was the colored vinyl variants, which I believe were only available at the Third Man storefronts in Nashville and Detroit. And I was kind of lowballing it. I thought maybe it wouldn't really catch on, but I got outbid really quick. And then once it hit 3 figures, I was like, I can't do anymore. So I was very happy to just check out this one. And I'm definitely going to be checking out the other 2 albums. France Gall, Pulpi de Ciel. All right, so here is a repressing of a slightly older release. This first came out back in 2015, just got a repress, and for the price of $14, colored vinyl, limited edition, it was an absolute no-brainer to check out. And this is Rainbow, Denver 1979, the Down to Earth tour. This is a live recording from the Graham Bonnet kind of era of Rainbow. And they've been releasing a whole lot of archival live releases from this tour, as well as other eras. And this is just one of them. And 2 LP set, which comes in a nice sort of holographic sleeve, which is really awesome. Kind of gives that cosmic effect on there. Notable tracks on here. We have the hit Since You've Been Gone, All Night Long, Eyes of the World, and of course, Man of the Silver Mountain, Long Live Rock and Roll, amongst others. Nice gatefold sleeve, which has a nice picture of Richie right there and some liner notes. And I'll show you guys the vinyl. This is pressed on rather nice blue vinyl, and they've done other colors for this as well. They've done red vinyl as well as green vinyl. All 3 colors between those 2 and the blue are limited to 1,000 copies each. And I think from how it's being set up, they kind of just get sent out at random. So I did not really purchase a specific blue vinyl copy. It just said red, blue, or green. Kind of just, you know, whatever you end up with. But the hype sticker actually said it was blue vinyl. So I guess however Amazon ships out the product is just whatever the customer gets. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. It's an awesome pressing, and I cannot wait to give this album a spin. When I placed the pre-order for this, I was listening to a lot of Deep Purple and Rainbow, so I was really feeling the itch to pick up some more Rainbow stuff, and this will stand as a really nice addition to my Rainbow Live collection, Denver 1979 from the Down to Earth tour. All right, guys, Third Man Records Vault Package number 43 has just arrived today, and my oh my, it is really sweet. So check this out. This is the Raconteurs live in Tulsa. This is a 3 LP set, which chronicles the band's 3-night stint over at Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa. A fantastic set list full of highlights from the most recent album, Help a Stranger, as well as their 2 previous albums, Broken Boy Soldiers and Consolers of the Lonely. This comes in a very nice triple gatefold sleeve, which kind of has like a green, black, and sort of copper brown color scheme to it. Awesome shot of the audience there. So if you attended the show, you can try spotting yourself in the audience there. And each LP comes pressed on different colored vinyl, as I will show you. The first LP comes pressed on green vinyl, which looks absolutely vibrant. And then the second LP comes pressed on black vinyl, in case you don't know what black vinyl looks like. And the last record, you got to check this out. It's almost kind of like a marbled gold swirl kind of vinyl. Honestly, this could pass on as a work of art. I mean, just look at that. That is amazing. All these records were pressed over at Third Man Pressing up in Detroit. They have their own pressing plant, and they've been pressing up some beautiful pieces of colored vinyl. If you have not seen or heard of it, you need to take a look at the vault version of Captain Beefheart's Trout Mask replica. You need to see the color of that vinyl. It is just absolutely amazing. So this is going to be a fun listen, and I cannot wait to play it. And then, of course, aside from the main 12-inch release, we also have some other goodies as well. So we have this Blu-ray here, which features two acoustic performances, I should say, by Jack White and Brendan Benson. The first show is from 1999 over at the Garden Bowl Lounge, and then the second one is from the Third Man Records Cass Corridor location in Detroit. They play Raconteur songs, White Stripe stuff, material from each member's respected solo career. But honestly, I'm excited to hear their rendition of Pink Floyd's Fearless. So this is going to be a awesome thing to check out. And also, this is the Vault's first Blu-ray release. Everything else has been on standard DVDs, so they've really jumped the boat in terms of quality. And the last piece of this vault, which is really, really cool, and surprisingly, I don't have any of these in my vinyl collection. I'm aware of them, but I've just never really picked up any. I've come across a couple, but check this out. It is indeed a orange flexi disc of the Raconteurs' I'm Your Puppet, which was the famed studio sessions for Amazon Music. So they went ahead and put that on flexi disc for the vault. And then, of course, we have this little thing here, which acts as like the postcard, which kind of breaks down all the contents of the vault. Very nice, like textured paper that has the torn edge right here. Looks absolutely awesome. So yeah, this is another knock out of the park for Third Man with their vault packages, and I am excited to give this a spin. The Raconteurs live in Tulsa. All right, so this next record I'm going to show you guys is one that I actually bought off of a fellow member of the Third Man Records Collectors group on Facebook. I actually had my eyes on a copy of this particular release for some time from a seller on Discogs, and I added it to my cart, and it was just kind of just sitting there waiting for me to pick it up whenever I was ready to pull the trigger. And it was for about 30 bucks. This woman on Facebook was selling her copy for 20, and the reason why it was so low in price was simply because the record had warped a little bit, and honestly, guys, warped records aren't making me lose any sleep. They play just about fine on my turntable, and if anything, I can find ways to flatten them out. And also, considering this particular release and where it comes from, 20 bucks is not a bad price tag at all. So, the record I'm talking about is this one here, Jack White and the Bricks, live on the Garden Bowl Lanes, July 9th, 1999. This came out as part of Third Man's Vault subscription service back in 2013. And this is just simply one of the other projects that Jack had going on for him at the time as he was doing the White Stripes. The band consists of Jack White, Brendan Benson on guitar, Ben Blackwell on drums, and bassist Kevin Peock. The set list itself consists of a lot of Jack White Stripe songs, and as well as some Bob Dylan covers. Comes with a nice photo montage on the back with some nice glossy printing. And then we have some handwritten notes on the printed inner sleeve. And the record itself comes pressed on very aptly described bowling pin white vinyl, which looks pretty cool. And we have a nice custom label on this side. Really cool release, and I've been just kind of snagging anything that Jack White was a part of just to kind of build my Jack White collection, as he is the reason why I started collecting vinyl in the first place. So this is really, really awesome to have. And then next up is probably one of the biggest steals I think I'm ever going to come across this year in terms of vinyl collecting. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Brand new sealed from deepdiscount.com. $4 with maybe $2 for shipping. So I didn't even break the 2-figure mark. And shockingly as this may sound, I do not have any Bon Jovi in my vinyl collection. I don't know if that's sacrilege considering that I live in New Jersey, but this album is a first for me in terms of my Bon Jovi vinyl collection. And honestly, I have a lot of fond memories of this album because when I was a kid, I remember my dad had on VHS tape. He had this back in the 80s. It was a tape of all of the music videos and live footage from this album slash tour, along with behind the scenes footage of the band in Japan and interviews. If you perhaps had it back in the day, you might know what I'm talking about. But I just remember watching that tape over and over again as a kid. And hence why I kind of have a bit of a attachment to this album. You Give Love a Bad Name, of course, Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, Never Say Goodbye. You also have some really cool tunes on here like Let It Rock, Social Disease, all kinds of good stuff. And this comes with a printed inner sleeve, which has the lyrics, and we have a band photo right here. Literally, as I took the shrink wrap off and I looked at this inner sleeve, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting memories just looking at this. Because I remember this stuff vividly when I was a kid, and it's been some time since I've last seen a copy. We have the black Mercury label there, and this was mastered by Ray Janos, so I'm sure this is going to be one hell of a sounding pressing, and definitely a good way to get my Bon Jovi vinyl collection started, and I'm definitely going to be picking up more of their stuff down the road. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. All right, now it's time to break into some legal bootlegs. So there's a company based out of England called Coda Records, which specialize in doing kind of gray market kind of vinyl releases. They're not full-on bootlegs, but they're also not affiliated at all by the artist or label, so it's kind of like a legal bootleg kind of meeting point. I've mentioned these before on my channel. And their Amazon storefront had all of their records dropped to $9.99, which I thought was fantastic considering what these kind of go for once they sell out on Amazon, or they get taken down depending on the situation. But when I saw that, I also got mad because I actually bought a Kiss record from them. It was a South American show from '94 that I paid full price for, and there it was slashed 50% off, and I'm like, damn. So, and I was kind of waiting around on getting these and picking them up simply because I knew payday was around the corner and I knew I was going to be getting points with my Amazon card. And honestly, it was getting to the point where I was starting to have dreams about these records and they were selling out in my dreams. And that's what happens when you become obsessed with this kind of stuff. So the first couple that I'm going to show you guys that I got are these David Bowie records. This one's called Sounds and Visions, and this one is called We Could Be Heroes. These two records together pretty much make up an entire show that was recorded during his Sound and Vision tour around 1989, 1990. It does not specify on the covers where they were recorded, but I suspect it was the Milton Keynes show, which was broadcasted on radio. So this one here, Sound and Visions, is pretty much like part one. And as you Bowie fans know, Sound and Vision tour was the last tour that he was going to be playing the hits. So honestly, this is kind of like a greatest hits live kind of thing. You got Space Oddity, Changes, Rebel Rebel, Ashes to Ashes, Starman, Let's Dance, Blue Jean. I mean, all that stuff. And what's really cool with these is that they do indeed come on really cool colored vinyl. And also, I hate these plastic sleeves that they come in. I'm going to swap these out as soon as possible. But this comes on gray vinyl, and if you get it at the right angle, it kind of has like a nice sort of marble effect to it. A little bit of black in there, which is pretty cool. So I'll put this one back as quick as possible. Oh, come on, it doesn't want to go back in. And yet the camera is still rolling. So I'll put this here. And then we have the second part, which is We Could Be Heroes. And you can see the track list here. We have China Girl, Sound and Vision, Ziggy Stardust, Young Americans, Heroes, Modern Love, Rock and Roll Suicide. I mean, it's all classic Bowie stuff. He was really just delivering all the hits on this tour. And this one comes pressed on what looks like opaque blue vinyl in one angle. And then when you tilt it, it kind of has another marbled effect going on for it. It looks really, really cool. I am excited to give these a spin because usually, like, when these sell out on Amazon or if they get taken down, the values do tend to go up high, somewhere around 40 to 50 bucks or sometimes more. They're usually banned for being purchased on Discogs because they kind of fall in that bootleg category. But for someone that has almost everything, these are really nice additions to have. And last but not least, we also have another one that I picked up, and this is a AC/DC one. This one's called Danger Keep Out, and this is a broadcast recording from the Hammersmith Odeon from 1979. This was during the Highway to Hell tour, which was Bon Scott's last tour. And I actually have another legal bootleg from this tour. It was recorded at some college campus. It was broadcasted for, I think it was the King Biscuit Flower Hour. That was a fantastic show, and the quality of this recording is fantastic as well. We have tracks such as Shot Down in Flames, Walk All Over You, If You Want Blood, You've Got It, Let There Be Rock, Highway to Hell. I mean, all those early classic AC/DC tunes. And this one comes pressed on red vinyl. Nice opaque red vinyl with a nice black label. Matches it very, very nicely. And yeah, these are just simply really cool kind of other releases to own that kind of deviate from the usual official stuff. And these will definitely be spun on the turntable as I quarantine myself with what's going on in the world. Good stuff. Bowie and AC/DC legal bootlegs. All right, so here is a new release which just came out today on Friday, March 21st, and that is It Any Wonder by David Bowie. Now, this EP is a collection of songs that his estate has been putting out one by one towards the beginning of this year. And then basically they took all the tracks together and made this little collection. And it's a bunch of recordings that kind of stem from the sort of Earthling era of Bowie from 97. We have re-recordings of Stay from Station to Station, I Can't Read, which is on the first Tin Machine album, The Man Who Sold the World, the live Eno mix, Baby Universal 97, all kinds of recordings from that time frame. And you can kind of tell it's from that Earthling era just by the David Bowie logo on the back side. Comes in a very nice sort of soft touch kind of sleeve. Like, honestly, I'm afraid to touch it because I feel like one fingerprint will just ruin this sleeve. It feels really, really deluxe. And comes in a printed inner sleeve, which has artwork and credits. And then the record itself comes with nice custom labels. We have the track list on this side, and then we have the Earthling David Bowie logo here. And it's a really cool collection that covers this era. I should note that this is only available through the David Bowie web store. Well, technically it says that it's only his web store. Because I went to place an order from his website, and just simply down to the fact that it was only available there, but the shipping costs were really, really high, and I almost did not get it. But then, since Bowie's also signed with Rhino, they offered it on their web store, and right around the time that this was announced, there was a President's Day 20% off free shipping sale, so that was the best deal going for this thing. And definitely excited to give it a spin. David Bowie, Is It Any Wonder? All right, so this next record I'm going to show you guys probably goes hand in hand with the Bon Jovi album in terms of those great deals of 2020, because I got this for a killer price with the tax and shipping and everything. So I got this off of popmarket.com. They're a really cool website that sells vinyl, CDs, music apparel, and whatnot. And they have a section of their site called the Closeout Crate, where they'll like drop prices as low as like 85% off the listing price. And you can get some really great deals if you search what's available in there. I've gone through it so many times at this point that there's nothing really much left for me to pick up unless I really want to take a gamble and check out some under the radar stuff. But I saw this record and I was really intrigued because this is an artist that's highly regarded amongst many music lovers in general. And I figured the price that I ended up paying was a justifiable amount because I don't have any records of this artist in my collection. And they were also running a promo. I don't know if this was just for the weekend or several days, where you can get 10% off your entire purchase alongside free shipping. And of course, that's the big draw for me because their shipping isn't bad. It's usually like $2.99 at like the bare minimum. But of course, you know, I'm all for saving a couple dollars on shipping. Now, the record itself was already priced very, very low. So with the 10% off, the little bit of tax, and the free shipping, I paid $6 for it. You can't beat it. I'm talking about Judy Collins, Colors of the Day, the best of Judy Collins, a great American folk musician, which is very reminiscent of like Joni Mitchell and other artists of the whole, you know, California folk scene. And this compilation pretty much brings out some of the standouts that came out within her catalog at the time, back in 1972, when this first came out. We have some songs of her own, as well as some covers of Joni Mitchell tunes, Leonard Cohen, Beatles stuff. Just a really solid collection. Absolutely adore the artwork. And apparently this pressing is limited to 1,000 copies. There's no real way of telling since it's not numbered, but that's a cool part about it. We have a printed inner sleeve here, which has some liner notes in terms of which songs came from what. And we have a little handwritten quote from Judy herself. And the record comes on that old school butterfly Electra label, which looks quite cool. And I'm definitely excited to give this album a listen because as much as I like to rock out, I do like some folk. I can only take it in small portions because I need something to kind of liven me up a little bit. But I do like to kick back, have a cup of tea, listen to some folky stuff, you know, get in the right mood. This is as eclectic as it gets because I'm showing Judy Collins albums and I'm wearing Iron Maiden t-shirts. Gotta love it. And the next record I'm going to show you guys is one that I got from bullmoose.com. And I love ordering new releases from Bull Moose because if there's the case where a new album will come in a indie record store variant, they will offer it for pre-order on the website alongside the standard version. And of course, it's just a great opportunity to snag some limited edition pressings for decent, you know, prices. And what's really cool with them is that sometimes depending on when they ship out new releases and how long it takes to get to me, I end up getting them sometimes a day or days before the release date. And as of filming this clip, it is Thursday, March 26th. This album comes out tomorrow, Friday the 27th. So I'm really excited that I got it a day early. And I am talking about the newest album from Waxahachie, and the album is called Saint Cloud. Really awesome folky Americana artist. I saw her open for Courtney Barnett a couple years back, and that was the first time that I became aware of her. And I picked up all of her releases kind of just within the past, I would say, year or two. And so far, my collection is up to date, and I'm excited to dig into this new album of hers. Love the album cover, great artwork. Comes with a nice gatefold sleeve. And honestly, all the extras and bits and pieces you get with this are fantastic because you also get a download card. And then you also get this really huge fold-out poster. Hopefully you guys can make this all out on camera. But you get this really awesome poster, which is so cool. And then we also have the record itself, which comes in a printed inner sleeve with all the lyrics. And there she is right there. And what makes this the indie record store exclusive variant is that it comes pressed on sort of Coke bottle vinyl. It says Coke bottle clear vinyl, but it's not too clear. It kind of has like a murky tinge to it. But comes on that kind of Coca-Cola bottle type of color vinyl, which is absolutely cool. Nice custom labels. And this is definitely going to be a fun listen. I always enjoy Waxahachie's work, whether it be her kind of lo-fi beginnings or the really polished studio stuff. It's all great songwriting, and she is truly an amazing 21st century folk artist. Waxahachie, Saint Cloud. All right, now we are going to end this haul on a rather big note with the 50th anniversary pressing of Jimi Hendrix' Band of Gypsies. Experience Hendrix and Capitol decided to reissue this album in time to coincide with the 50th anniversary. And honestly, this was much needed because the only newer pressing that was available of this album was a pressing that Capitol put out in the late 2000s, and I didn't really hear too many good things about it. However, this has been reissued a couple times overseas in Europe on the Music on Vinyl label, and those pressings are highly reputable. But I remember they would always kind of be high in price, and that's simply because it was an import. So they finally decided to give us a nice reissue authorized by the Hendrix estate within the US. All artwork is perfectly replicated, and also just a classic album recorded over 4 different shows at the Fillmore East on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, 69 going into 70, ringing in the decade. This pressing comes with a really cool shop poster, which I'll show you. Hope you guys can catch all that. Absolutely killer. And then, just like all Hendrix reissues, we also have a really nice book with photos and liner notes talking about the album and the shows and what was going on at the time frame. Just absolutely great stuff. And then, of course, the record itself comes in a rice paper sleeve. This was more than likely pressed at Quality Record Pressings. Nice heavyweight vinyl. Really love that custom label, how you have like the different colors going through Jimmy in the text. Just absolutely awesome looking. And this is another knock out of the ballpark in terms of the Jimi Hendrix vinyl reissues. It's been said that this is a all analog mastering, and with what you get with the poster and the booklet, this came out to around $20, so it's absolute, bang for the buck. The Jimi Hendrix estate never disappoints when it comes to his releases, and this was definitely a great note to end this haul on. Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsys 50th anniversary pressing. So there you guys go. That is my vinyl haul of all the records that I acquired within the month of March in 2020. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support this channel, be sure to check me out on Patreon. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.